Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Kenya National Archives. The Kenya National Archives is an iconic building in the middle of Nairobi Central Business District. Most Kenyans walk past the building but have never been inside it. The majority of Kenyans see it as a landmark that allows them to navigate through the streets of Nairobi without getting lost. Let's dive into the history of this iconic building. The Kenya National Archives and Documentation Service KNADS serve as the primary repository for the nation's historical records, preserving public documents, artifacts, and cultural heritage materials. Its origins trace back to the colonial era when the British administration began organizing government records, issuing draft rules for archives as early as 1955. However, the institution was formally established by an Act of Parliament, Cap 19 of the Laws of Kenya, on December 31, 1965, shortly after Kenya's independence in 1963. The Act mandated the KNADS with the responsibility of acquiring, preserving, and managing all public records of the Republic of Kenya, including those from the colonial period up to independence and beyond. Initially placed under the office of the Vice President, it holds over 40,000 volumes of documents, photographs, maps, and artifacts spanning Kenya's political, social, and cultural history. In 1990, the Act was revised to incorporate the National Documentation and Information Retrieval Service, expanding KNADS mandates to include government publications, non-textual materials like films and tapes, and information retrieval systems. Today, KNADS operates under the State Department for Culture, the Arts, and Heritage within the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts, and Heritage. Its headquarters is in Nairobi on Moi Avenue and maintains regional branches in Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Kakamega, and Nyeri to decentralize access to records. The archives play a crucial role in research, education, and public engagement, housing materials from the colonial provincial administration to post-independence governance, with digitized initiatives ongoing to improve accessibility. Public access to records is governed by the 1991 revision, which stipulates that most government documents become available after 30 years, balancing transparency with national security. Let's talk about Joseph Morombi and his contribution to the preservation of culture. Joseph Zuzata Morombi, often known simply as Joe Morombi, was a pivotal figure in the Kenya's early post-independence history and a passionate advocate for African cultural preservation. Born on 18th June 1911 in what is now Kenya, he was the son of a Goan trader and a Maasai woman, the daughter of a Maasai Laibon, named Morombi from the Uasin Gishu region. His mixed heritage shaped his lifelong commitment to bridging cultures. After spending his early childhood in Kenya, Morombi was sent to India at the age 7 for education, where he studied until age 16. He later worked in India and Italian Somaliland before returning to Kenya in the 1930s, becoming involved in anti-colonial activism. He joined the Kenya African Union, KAU, and supported the independence struggle, forging ties with leaders like Jomo Kenyatta. Morombi's political career peaked after independence, as he served as Kenya's first Minister for Foreign Affairs in 1964 to 1966, helping shape the country's non-aligned foreign policy and contributing in the formation of the Organization of African Unity, OAU. In 1966, he became Kenya's second Vice President under Kenyatta, a role he held for just 14 months before resigning on ethical grounds amid political tensions. He cited health reasons but later revealed frustrations with corruption and tribalism in government. He then focused on business, philanthropy, and cultural advocacy. He co-founded African Heritage, the continent's largest Pan-African art gallery in Nairobi in 1975. Morombi was an avid collector, amassing one of Africa's richest private collections of over 6,000 artifacts, 50,000 books, including 8,000 rare pre-1900 volumes, textiles, masks, carvings, sculptures, and historical documents from across the continent. His passion stemmed from a mission to preserve African culture amid colonial erasure and post-colonial globalization threats. In the mid-1970s, after a fire damaged his Muthaiga home, where much of his collection was stored, Morombi faced overseas bids worth millions but chose to sell the bulk to the Kenyan government in 1978 for 4.1 million Kenyan shillings, which was far below market value, to ensure it remained in Kenya as a national treasure. He stipulated that the items be housed at his former home, envisioned as the Murumbi Institute of African Studies, with expansions for a library and research facilities. However, the government later subdivided the land for development, leading to the collection's relocation to the Kenya National Archives. This betrayal contributed to Murumbi's decline in health. He suffered a heart attack and died on June 22, 1990 in London. His wife Sheila passed away in 2000 and both are buried near City Park in Nairobi. Today, the Murumbi African Heritage Collection forms the core of the Murumbi Art Gallery at the Kenya National Archives. It includes items from East, West, and Southern Africa, emphasizing Murumbi's vision of Pan-Africanism. The Ford Foundation provided a $50,000 grant in the 1980s to aid preservation, and the collection continues to educate visitors on pre-colonial and colonial era artistry. The Kenya National Archives charges modest entry fees to support preservation efforts. For Kenyan adults, the charges are 50 shillings. The Kenyan children are charged 20 shillings. Non-citizen adults are charged 200 shillings. Additional fees may apply for research access, that is 1500 for non-citizen researchers. The Murumbi Art Gallery is open daily from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., including weekends and public holidays. Some of the rules at the archives include access and identification. All visitors must pay the entrance fee and may need to present valid ID. The research rooms are open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and require prior arrangement for scholars, and non-citizens pay a separate research permit fee. For preservation rules, no food, drinks, or smoking in the exhibit or reading areas. Coding. Photography is allowed on the lower part of the gallery. No photography is allowed on the second floor, and no video is allowed throughout the whole archives. In terms of behavior and security, you're supposed to maintain a quiet and respectful environment. Your bags may be inspected at entry, and also if you have large bags, they are left at the entrance to avoid people from stealing and putting items in their bags. That is it for today. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next one.